Taiwan stands as the father of e-paper, with EINK Taiwan producing 99% of all e-ink panels. However, manufacturing aside, they do have a couple brands under their belt when it comes to the consumer market, like Bigme and this one, Hyread. Hyread is a Taiwanese company that has existed for quite some time, releasing multiple devices across multiple screen sizes and setups. Today we're graced with the presence of their latest device, the Gaze Pro Note C. From 2019 to 2022, color screens were all the rage. Now with over 110 plus devices to choose from with color screens, and 12 manufacturers running Google Play, those selling points are no longer as tantalizing as they once were 5 years ago. So although we will touch on those, we're going to be focusing a lot more on the device construction, the, thank goodness, Wacom pen, and the things that make this Hyread a Hyread. Looking at the device body construction, you will know first off that this is completely unique. We have never seen a device that looks like this in the past 11 years. This thing is massively bezeled on arguably 3 out of 4 sides. And if you don't believe us, let's get a little bit of a comparison here. Something that is more streamlined would be an Onyx. You see, the large bezel is earmarked for the buttons, which is fine. That's excusable. But the rest, there's just no real reason or utility to them being so large. It just looks clunky and cumbersome. It is thin in its own regard. That's not the problem. You have an SD card, you have microphones, you have a status indicator light, USB-C, and a nice modern speaker grill. So that's not the issue. You have a power button up top as well, and the backing is quite nice. It almost looks like leather. It has that texture to it, but it isn't. It's just plastic. And the little Gaze logo, which is lasered on there. That's great. These buttons are effective. They push down really nice. They're rewarding to press, but man, that design of it looks very 2008-ish with iReader Story and a bunch of other devices that were kind of just coming out during the inception of e-paper when it was getting going. We haven't seen devices kind of revert back to this in quite some time. Also, a glaring issue, which we will zoom in here, the drop shadow is some of the tallest we've ever seen, and the drop shadow is the difference in height between the outside bezel and the actual screen. There's about a millimeter gap between that, and you can see it's quite prevalent right here where you see the top elements. Not only that, the LEDs are very visible. You can see them right there and you can count them. There's no camera trickery or anything like that. The LEDs are simply just on, but it is very concerning that everything just feels slapped together and overexposed, but that has nothing to do with the inside of the unit. Although the outside leaves you wanting for more of a streamlined, refined approach, the inside of the device actually looks pretty nice. And don't be too worried about the darkness of the screen. If you're an Onyx, if you're a Bigme, if you're a Kindle, if you're a Kobo, they all look like this. They use the exact same screen panels from the exact same company. So unfortunately, you do need to have the glow light on, or else it just looks terrible. This is the case for every single manufacturer. Now, the operating system is laid out honestly very nice. I like the little slider bars up top. You have a lot of different icons at the bottom with a very nice navigation bar. We'll get into all of this. If you drop the top down, you get Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all of your things, and they scroll too, so you can actually read them all. It is a little bit of a shock to the senses seeing them all scroll by, but if you just zoom in and with your eyes and focus on one at a time, it's not that bad. You have warm light, you have cold light, and you have your volume control right there. You can also customize things, and you can go up here to the settings. The settings has a ton of settings, and it is laid out quite nicely. We're not going to look at all of these. We're just going to look at some. You have language and input. This is a very internationally friendly approach. So you have different keyboards, you have different languages, and of course it's running Android and Google, so you can sideload in any other kind of launcher apps you want if you don't like what they have here. You also have button settings. I think this is great because one of the main things about this device are the buttons. There they are. You have top button, bottom button, and you have top button long press to turn off and on screen light, and etc, etc. You also have turn the page keys, so you can turn that on as well, and you can assign what you want to what you want on. There's a ton of different things as well. You can even assign it to none. So that's honestly really nice that you have the capability, although I don't see the utility in it, you can turn them off, which is kind of cool. Now, if you go back, there's one more thing that we wanted to show you in regards to the key mapping, which would be this, which is bundled in with the device. Bluetooth button mapping. You can actually get Bluetooth remotes and button map all of these things to what you want on your Bluetooth remotes. So that really gives you a good amount of flexibility when it comes to crafting your own experience, which this unit is really all about. Outside of that, you have application display settings. We're not going to go through all of these. It's just simply not feasible. You have all these different settings you can do. You have application management, system update, user manual, menu settings, font settings, and power management. All the kind of usual screen timeouts and wallpapers and all that stuff. Now, the apps in the middle are very nice, and you can long press on something, optimize it, or if it is a side-loaded, non-preloaded app, you can uninstall it as well. You have some information where you have the My section, we'll get into this in a little bit, and you have the store, which we're going to look at right now. The Hyread Bookstore, although is typically a lot of it is in Chinese, there are some books that are not in Chinese, and you also have the ability to toggle between ebooks, magazines, and the first we've ever seen, video, which is very interesting. And from there you can go down and refine things based off these parameters. And if you click on something, it'll go into the purchase decision, in which case it'll give you some information and whatnot. Now, you do have preview, which is nice, but all of this, even though we are with the English firmware on English Wi-Fi, call it Japanese Wi-Fi, what have you, it is still all in Chinese/Taiwanese, whatever you want to call it. So unfortunately, it won't be easy to consume a lot of what is on here, but they have you covered because what they have are two solutions for you. Solution number one, Google Play. From there you can download Google Play books, you can download anything you want. The second one is Library. So if you go to My, this is really, really cool, and we got a few of them set up just for now so we can show you guys. You have the Hyread Bookstore. We also have a library in Japan and a Los Angeles public library. Yes, unlike even pocketbook devices where you can't find all the libraries in all the world, you can go here, click Add a Library, find your country. You can go all areas or find Macau, Singapore, Thailand, Japan, USA, India, etc. Click on something and we'll go New York, Queens, click Add, and there you go. You can click Log In, account, password, and appointment notice, email, and you can log into the library and borrow books. You also have a little device reading time counter at the top. We have done no reading yet on this, so it will be 0. This is a really cool feature because it doesn't require you to download a third-party app to get into it. It's bundled right here as one of the 6 choices down below. While a lot of manufacturers from Onyx to Bigme and Remarkable and even Kobo are abandoning Wacom, Hyread is doing no such thing. They still have Wacom. Wacom passive EMR is the best. It is objectively the best. It works the best. It requires no charging. It's very fast. You have a ton of different pens you can use. The tips are cheap. You don't have to worry about losing your pen. It's not proprietary. The pros outweigh the cons 10 to 10. It's insanity. So this is the note-taking experience. You can customize a few pens here. You have 5 different choices and a bunch of different colors as well as line thicknesses, etc. So you can go like this and away you go. This is incredibly fast. It is incredibly responsive. This is one of the fastest, lowest latency devices we've seen. And we'll show you that if we go like this. Boom, I can't even keep up with that. There's no trail. With the Remarkable, for example, as you draw a color, this whole portion, while your pen is here will actually drag on and try to catch up to this line right there. The Remarkable Paper Pro, although is good in its own regard, has a little bit of problems with things like that. So it is just nice to see a good old-fashioned Wacom EMR experience. Now, in terms of the overall features, man, it doesn't even come close to something like Bigme or Onyx or what have you, because there's just not a whole lot you can do. There is some rudimentary shaping and stuff like that. 16 colors, a couple shapes, and a couple broken lines, but you know, we've been spoiled by the likes of Onyx recently to the point where this is just not that impressive anymore. This is a fairly mid-range experience if you compare it to, for example, the bottom of the barrels when it comes to feature like Fujitsu and Amazon, and the top notchers like Bigme and Onyx. This one exists somewhere in the middle, and it's just doing the same things everyone's done, but a few years behind. It's not really doing anything with its lasso, its text, or its fill that's really groundbreaking to any degree, but it all just kind of works really quickly and nicely. You have a lot of different templates as well, and you can side load in your own templates. Each one of these has about 2 to 3 pages, so that's kind of really nice to know. And you have some base model colored pages as well. Now, that's really about it. Insert gives you a couple things you can do, like attachment, link, web link, time, record, but again, to discredit Hyread, but we are deep in the industry. We're 10 years into note-taking and a bunch of years into these kind of note-taking palettes, and this is just stuff we've seen before so many times. It does have the rudimentary kind of share. I do like that because you can share this page and it immediately gives you the list of apps you can share with. As you sideload in more apps, those will show up. For example, if we download Gmail and Google Drive, they'll be right here. So I can go like this, I can draw something, I can say, hey, sign here. I click share, and immediately I can send that, all within the device itself. I don't have to go outside or anything like that. But honestly, that's kind of where it begins and ends. You have layers, you have lasso tool, and you have refresh. You can do some settings and move things around to the top and collapse the side, and that's really it. But this does have a nice eraser at the back as well. And we're using the Kindle pen, by the way, just to show you guys any pen works on this. In fact, if I reach over here off camera, I'll grab the Onyx pen. This is from the Nova Air, and it still works beautifully. This is the benefit of something we're seeing as a shift in the industry away from Wacom. This is what we are losing. When it comes to the note-taking feel, we'll hit it with a couple compounds. So we have more of a graphite composite blend tip on the Amazon Kindle. It's all right. And then we'll move over and we'll do the V-Woods, which is more of a plastic palm. It's fine, but honestly, I truly believe that Hyread had all the capability of making this a good note-taking feel, but this plastic screen translucent portion plus this matte white on the other side, this whole thing that goes on top, they should redo it or include more of a kind of gritty screen protector. This is a very bad note-taking feel. It's very slippery. Now that's subjective. I like more of a realistic approach when it comes to the pen on paper feel. I want it to vibrate through the pen. I want to have that little grittiness, and this doesn't have it. This is completely slippery. It's like you're writing on glass. It's really no different than using a tablet. It works, it's fast, it's great, it's got EMR, but it doesn't feel good to any degree. It's funny what we're about to say, this being an e-reader on an e-reader channel, but we're not going to look at e-reading that much. Reason being, it can do it. It's very unimpressive. It is just a regular kind of Kaleido pitfalls of it being too gray when there's no light and defeating the purpose of affecting your eyes and draining the battery when there is light. And man, that touch sensitivity is just not really that on point. And I gotta say, the reading part of this is just kind of, it's just there. I feel like it wasn't showcased as much. The app, which is iReader, that is installed, it does mostly everything that you would want. You have underlines, you have highlights, you have kind of highlight the entire block of text. You have delete, you have read out loud, you can search. Google has a definition, what have you, and you can take notes on the screen. All that is very nice, but honestly it is a little bit of a disjointed appearance because again, you get those LEDs that are very eye-catching but not in a good way, and the screen looks just too far away from you. You can see the entire time we've been shooting there's this massive shadow. It's not a very immersive unit. In fact, I truly believe the note-taking capabilities of this device, because it is called the Note, that is in the name, really outshine the reading capabilities, and there's not much to really focus on or even say about the reading experience, and that it just really matters on what reader app you put on here, and it's completely up to you because it has Google Play. You know what does get a little bit tedious after a while, and I'm going to be frank with you guys, the fact that 99% of the screens all come from the exact same place, so they all perform the same. In fact, really the only thing we can touch on is the speed of it, the color vibrancy controls, and whether this top coat has too much reflectivity, because the Kaleido screen is going to be the same as the Kobo, as the Colorsoft, as the Onyx, as the Bigme, as the iReader. They're the same panels. They're the exact same panels, exact same color array filter. So with that, you get some command of the control down below. And I do like how you have 5 speeds across the entire thing, 4 without Regal on certain applications, but for the most part that is consistent like this. You can go to the color section, in which case this actually does flourish. You get a lot of different commands. You have default, photo, cartoon, and 4 customs. Not only that, these are not on and off switches. There are so many combinations. You can see the dial goes from 0 to 80. So mathematically, there's probably more combinations of color augmentation than there are molecules in the universe. Look at all the things you can do. It's endless, and each one of them can be customized a different way and quick keyed back to the previous one you just set, and then you can toggle between them and you can really play with just about everything. That's something that stands out that Hyread has done that not a lot of manufacturers really focus on. And of course you got image grayscale 256, which honestly I don't even know why that's a toggle. iReader introduced this a few years back, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and there's been proven that there's no detriment to having this on. It doesn't use any more batteries, it just looks good, and there's no negatives. So why there's even a 256 toggle, I'm not sure. It should just come bundled. But either way, this is the crowning achievement of the operating system and the color correction, because it really does give you full command over how you want your colors to look on your screen. As we said at the top of the hour, there are 12 manufacturers that currently come bundled with Google Play, 3 others which can forcibly sideload their way in, and over 100 color e-paper options to date. Those just simply aren't enough to make devices sellable anymore. Hyread has always existed as kind of a mid-range brand, not as cheap and disposable as an $89 Y-bin, but not as ridiculous as a $1,400 premium Remarkable Paper Pro. It existed to combat the likes of MeBook, Onyx, and iReader. And honestly, they've done an adequate job of making something usable under many circumstances. Mappable page turn keys, decent proprietary features like a store, math, and yes, retaining Wacom, while others have abandoned it. It is hard to say if the Hyread is good or bad, as much like every single manufacturer, they're pulling inspiration from multiple sources. Devices are just starting to overlap, all doing the same thing, but at least the Hyread looks a little bit different. Thank you so much for watching this, and if you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below, and we'll see you on the next one.